got an Xbox. I got the one that's X-rated. I don't know what makes it so sexual, but I guess we're gonna find out once I get deep inside the box. You could tell I don't do these often, and there's a reason for that. But here's the box. I was very impressed with how it was packaged with that thick foam. And even at the top of the box here, you could see that it was covered. And it was in a black wrapper, the Xbox, so that when the whole thing closes down, this is so awkward, like a sandwich. The box is much larger than the actual Xbox that you get. The PlayStation 5 packaging is a piece of donkey shit. So inside you get the PlayStation, or the Xbox. That'd be a problem if you got a PlayStation. You get the power cord without the, the big power brick like we used to get back in the day. You get their HDMI cord, which I do like, how flexible the cable is. There's just something about those ones that are very rigid that drive me crazy. And then you get the controller. It would be nice if it zoomed in properly. Now, this is the Magenta Phantom that I bought. It's technically an Xbox One controller. You don't get the whatchamacallit. It feels a little bit different because it's more grooved in for the D-pad versus this, which is much smoother. In terms of the grip, when you hold them, the back of the Xbox Series X controller will feel a little bit more grippy than your standard Xbox One controller. It still has a little bit of the grip, but it's a little bit more slippery. So that is a definite difference. There's also a little button in the middle. I have a DSLR camera. It doesn't have autofocus. This little button here. Not gonna lie, I don't know what that does. But a standard Xbox One controller doesn't have that button. But I am told that these are forward compatible. Yeah, with the Xbox Series X and S. Now, I want to talk to you because I live in Canada, but this still might apply to you. It does come with 2 AA batteries, so you don't get the battery pack that you can buy, whether aftermarket from Microsoft or this one's Biogenic that I got from GameStop or EB Games at the time in Canada. As you could tell at the top of the controller, we've got the big cutout, just like all the other ones, and this retrofits perfectly, and it's got its own plug in the back, so you can actually plug that. You could just slip it right in. Now, this is the old Xbox One controller. But on a Series X and S, even though at first glance it looks the same, we've got 2 big clips here that sort of get in the way. It's the casing. You can see it there in the light above the battery. So when I went to grab this, obviously there's batteries in there, which were included, and I tried to push this in. It was an absolute no-go. So that's my thing to you, is if you're going to buy a Series S and X and you have a third-party battery pack, I don't know if the official one from Microsoft will work with the new Series controller. So the official battery, regardless of the generation, should work as it appears to be the same dimensions. However, this is the newer version of it, and it appears the only change is that it is a USB-C cable included with the battery, because the Xbox Series X controller, which I forgot to mention, does have a USB-C port. Okay, and it takes 4 hours, just under 4 hours to charge. And there you have it. So again, 99% sure that your prior official battery, as you can see, it's fully encased, will work with the new controller. It's just those third-party ones that have the custom cover on it. Those are going to be a hit and miss. Funny enough, I went through a lot of problems with the Xbox official Microsoft battery packs. I went through about 3 or 4 of them over the past several years since the first iteration of the Xbox One. This is not me being a PlayStation fanboy. I call a spade a spade. They both are fucking stupid in their own rights, and they're both incredible in their own rights. When it comes to the batteries, I've just not had a lot of good consistency with them. And when I do get the ones from third parties like Biogenics, that's their little symbol there, I just find they're more reliable. So now I'm going to have to go and probably buy another one. The Microsoft one, from what I'm remembering, I think will work because I think it's just like 2 little batteries together and you push it inside. And I think you still use your original cover from what I remember. Whereas the Biogenics one, it's the cover and the battery all in one. And again, it has its own plug to charge, and it comes with its own cable, which is really cool too, because there's actually, which you won't be able to see because of my camera, but above the charging port of the Biogenic battery, there's a little dot, and that's actually a light. You can actually see the light go orange, and then it stops when it's fully charged. Whereas the Xbox One, when you charge it normally through the port, the actual cable itself lights up when you're charging, and it shuts off, I believe, when it's done charging. So that's pretty much it in terms of the build. Everybody knows what a fucking Xbox Series X looks like. I don't need to show it to you. I like the build construction, how heavy it is, how it's like a perfect, rectangle. It looks like a fucking shoebox or a modem or whatever you want to call it. Compared to my PlayStation 5, I absolutely like the build design much more on the Xbox, how they packaged it. I just don't like their fucking batteries. I do like how the PlayStation come with built-in batteries, even though they're fucking garbage. They're built in. I'd rather a garbage battery I got to charge, a couple times a day than having to now fiddle around with more money. Because with taxes and everything, well over $600, I think it is. I can't remember. I would have liked to have had that little fucking battery pack included for your controller. Not a pair of AA battery Duracells. To me, that's not asking much. It really, really isn't. Even, come on. Just include the fucking thing. Anyhow, that's all I wanted to share with you, was those couple of little attention to detail, which I thought was important to mention, because I actually didn't know any of this, in terms of the extra button, how the cover's different from the Xbox One controller, how it's a little bit more grippy, that sort of thing. And it does have a headphones jack, because remember the first generation of Xbox One controllers didn't have one, but then when I got the magenta one, that was one of the reasons why I got it, because my Pro controller on my Switch doesn't have a headphones jack. They assume you're gonna have a 30-foot cable attached to your Switch that's docked to the TV for you to be able to put headphones in. That's another story for another day. Anyhow, don't want to make this video any longer than it needs to be. Nobody needs to see this sweating pumpkin head. I rushed over to Best Buy. There was only one left in my city. Whew, and it doesn't help that I don't have eyebrows, because the sweat drips right into your eyeballs. So eyebrows do serve a purpose. Again, another video on that some other day. Not really. If you liked the video, thumbs up. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm. Didn't like the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs down. And as always, I'll bend it in half. I'll twist it, break it off in mix. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, naturally, that would be fucking great now, wouldn't it? But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care, and maybe I'll see some of you in the next video. Bye for now.